Imagine spending hundreds of dollars on a robot vacuum, taking good care of it for years, only to wake up one morning and discover that half the features you paid for no longer exist. That actually happened. One frustrated owner summed it up in a Reddit post with 4 painful words: "My $500 decorative brick." Not because the motors failed, not because the battery died, but because someone somewhere switched off a server. And once I started digging into this story, I realized something even more surprising. It isn't just about one robot vacuum company. The Neato story. If you've been following robot vacuums for a while, you'll probably remember Neato. For years, Neato was one of the biggest names in robotic cleaning. Their D-shaped design helped them clean corners better than many round competitors. Reviewers regularly praised their navigation, and their flagship models sold for several $100s. Everything looked promising. Then, things started changing. According to reports from multiple technology news outlets, Neato Robotics shut down operations in 2023 after struggling with declining sales. Its parent company, Vorwerk, announced that while Neato itself was ending, customers would continue receiving spare parts and cloud support for 5 years. That sounded reassuring. 5 years meant support until 2028. Many owners believed they had plenty of time left. Then came October 2025. Out of nowhere, Neato owners began receiving emails from Vorwerk. The message surprised almost everyone. Cloud services would begin shutting down during the fourth quarter of 2025, 3 years earlier than customers expected. Vorwerk explained that cybersecurity standards, compliance requirements, and regulations had evolved to the point where maintaining the legacy cloud infrastructure was no longer safe or sustainable. Whether you agree with that reasoning or not, the result was the same. Once those servers disappeared, so did a huge portion of what made the robots smart. Owners lost app control. They lost scheduling. They lost remote start. They lost cloud-based maps. Software updates stopped. For many popular models, including the D3, D4, D5, D6, and D7 series, the robot could still physically clean floors. But instead of telling it to vacuum your kitchen every Tuesday at 9 a.m. from an app, you had to walk over, press the button, and hope for the best. That's a very different product from the one people originally bought. Think about how robot vacuums are marketed today. They don't just advertise suction, they advertise AI obstacle avoidance, room-specific cleaning, no-go zones, cleaning history, schedules, remote access while you're away from home. Most of that depends on software, and software increasingly depends on cloud servers. Without those servers, the hardware may still work, but the experience you paid for doesn't. Some Neato owners were understandably furious. On Reddit, one owner described his machine as becoming a $500 decorative brick. Others argued the hardware itself was still perfectly functional. The problem wasn't the robot. The problem was the services wrapped around it. The backlash became large enough that community members even launched a petition asking Vorwerk to release the cloud API so enthusiasts could build replacement services and keep these machines alive. That request highlights something fascinating. The hardware wasn't necessarily obsolete. It was the ecosystem around it that disappeared. And that's an important distinction, because once you notice it, you start seeing the same pattern elsewhere. This isn't just Neato. Neato isn't an isolated story. It's part of a much bigger trend. Take Google's early generation Nest thermostats. Google eventually ended cloud support for some older models, meaning certain connected features stopped working even though the physical devices still existed. Or Belkin. Reports show Belkin discontinued support for much of its Wemo smart home lineup, including various plugs, switches, and cameras. Different companies, different products. Same underlying lesson. When you buy many smart devices today, you're not just buying hardware, you're entering an ongoing relationship with the manufacturer. That relationship includes servers, apps, security updates, cloud infrastructure, and ongoing maintenance. If that relationship ends, your ownership experience can change dramatically. That's very different from older appliances. Imagine buying a washing machine in 1998. If the manufacturer disappeared 10 years later, your washing machine didn't suddenly forget how to wash clothes. Modern connected devices don't always work that way. Increasingly, part of what you're paying for lives somewhere you don't own. In a data center, on someone else's servers, and that's where the real risk begins. Not that companies are planning to shut things down tomorrow, but that cloud dependence creates a vulnerability that simply didn't exist 20 years ago. So naturally, people start asking the uncomfortable question: which robot vacuum brand could be next? The honest answer is, nobody knows. But we can absolutely evaluate the risk intelligently. Which brand is most likely next? This is where it's really important to separate evidence from speculation. No major robot vacuum manufacturer has announced plans to abandon cloud support in the way Neato did. Not Roborock, not iRobot, not Ecovacs, not Dream, not Shark, not Eufy. There is no confirmed evidence that any of them are about to switch off their servers. So instead of trying to predict the future, let's build a checklist, a framework you can use before spending £700, or in many cases, even more. The first question is simple. How financially stable is the company? Has the business recently announced major layoffs? Has its parent company been restructuring? Has trade press reported significant financial pressure? A profitable, growing company is generally in a stronger position to maintain cloud infrastructure for years than one that's struggling. That doesn't guarantee anything. Neato itself once looked like a healthy competitor, but it's still one useful signal. Second, what happens if the cloud disappears tomorrow? Can you still start a cleaning cycle manually? Can basic navigation continue? Or does the product become almost unusable? Some manufacturers allow physical controls that still perform basic cleaning. Others rely much more heavily on the app. Those differences matter far more than most buyers realize. Third, where is your data actually stored? Does the company rely almost entirely on cloud processing? Or does more happen locally on the robot itself? Some manufacturers have gradually shifted more intelligence onto the device, reducing dependence on remote servers. Others remain more cloud-centric. The more your robot can do without calling home, the more resilient it may be. Fourth, does the company support openness? Does it publish APIs? Does it have a history of working with developers? Or is everything locked behind proprietary cloud systems? Remember the Neato petition? Owners wanted access to the cloud API precisely because the community believed they could keep the robots alive. Closed systems often leave owners with fewer options if official support disappears. Now let's apply that framework carefully. Take iRobot. It's one of the oldest names in the industry. That history is reassuring in some ways. But it's also true that the company has gone through significant business changes and restructuring in recent years, which have been widely reported. Does that mean Roombas are about to lose support? Absolutely not. It simply means buyers should pay attention to long-term company stability alongside product features. Now consider Roborock. The company has continued expanding internationally and releasing new products at a rapid pace. That's generally a positive sign. But like most premium robot vacuums, many advanced features still rely heavily on the companion app and cloud-connected services. Again, that's not a criticism. It's simply something buyers should understand before purchasing. Finally, look at Eufy, owned by Anker. Anker has a broader electronics business beyond robot vacuums. Some buyers view diversified parent companies as potentially more resilient because support costs aren't tied to one product category alone. But that's not a guarantee either. Large companies also discontinue products. History across the technology industry proves that. So here's the takeaway. Don't ask, which brand is definitely next? Nobody can answer that? Honestly. Instead ask, if something unexpected happened to this company 5 years from now, how much of my robot would still work? That's a much smarter buying question. What you can actually do? Thankfully, you're not powerless. Here are 4 things worth checking before buying your next robot vacuum. First, find out exactly what works without the app. Can you press a physical button and still clean the whole house? Can you start spot cleaning? Can you reconnect Wi-Fi without cloud access? Manufacturers rarely advertise this, but support pages sometimes explain it. Second, spend 5 minutes researching the company itself. Read recent business news. Has it been expanding, shrinking, selling divisions, merging with another company? You're not trying to become a financial analyst. You're simply looking for obvious warning signs. Third, think carefully about whether you actually need every cloud feature. If remote scheduling is essential for your lifestyle, then cloud dependence may be worth it. If you mostly press clean once a day anyway, a model with stronger offline functionality could be the safer long-term investment. And finally, don't ignore software support policies. Many buyers compare suction power down to the last Pascal. Very few compare software longevity. Yet software support may determine how useful your robot still is 6 or 7 years later. Ironically, the smartest buying decision isn't always buying the smartest robot. Sometimes it's buying the robot that stays useful the longest. That Reddit owner who called his robot vacuum a $500 decorative brick wasn't really talking about broken hardware. He was talking about broken expectations. The motors still spun, the brushes still turned, but the product he originally paid for no longer existed in the same form. As our homes become smarter, this is a question we're all going to have to ask more often. Not just how smart is this appliance today, but who keeps it smart tomorrow? If this investigation saved you from making an expensive mistake, let me know in the comments. Have you ever owned a smart device that lost features because the company stopped supporting it? I genuinely love to hear your experience. And if you enjoy evidence-based deep dives into the technology hiding inside everyday home appliances, subscribe, because there are plenty more stories like this that manufacturers rarely put in the product brochure.